Saying the Mantra, Part 1. Learning to meditate is learning to say the mantra. And because it is as simple as this, we should be quite clear in our understanding of the process of saying the mantra. We must grow in our fidelity to the mantra, and in the same proportion, the mantra grows more and more deeply rooted in us. As you know, the mantra I recommend you to say is the word Maranatha, the ancient Aramaic prayer which means Come Lord Jesus. And I suggest that you articulate it in your mind, silently, with equal stress on each of the 4 syllables. Maranatha. Most of us begin saying the mantra. That is, it seems as though we are speaking it, with our mind, silently, somewhere in our head. But as we make progress, the mantra becomes more familiar, less of a stranger, less of an intruder in our consciousness. We find less effort is required to persevere in saying it throughout the time of our meditation. And then it seems that we are not so much speaking it in our minds as sounding it in our heart. And this is the stage that we describe as the mantra becoming rooted in our hearts. No metaphor is really very satisfactory in this matter, but it's sometimes helpful and reassuring to know that one's own experience in meditation is also the general experience of the faithful. And so, at this stage of sounding the mantra in your heart, you might describe it as similar to lightly pushing a pendulum that needs only a slight stimulus to set it swinging in a calm, steady rhythm. It's at this moment that our meditation is really beginning. We are really beginning to concentrate away from ourselves, because from now on, instead of either saying or sounding the mantra, we begin to listen to it, rapt in ever-deepening attention. When he described this stage of meditation, my teacher used to say that from this moment on, it's as though the mantra is sounding in the valley below us, while we are toiling up the side of a mountain. Meditation is, in essence, the art of concentration, precisely because the higher we toil up the mountainside, the fainter becomes the mantra, sounding in the valley below us. And so, the more attentively and seriously we have to listen to it. There then comes the day when we enter that cloud of unknowing, in which there is silence, absolute, and we can no longer hear the mantra. But you must always remember, we cannot attempt to force the pace of meditation in any way, or to speed up the natural process in which the mantra roots itself in our consciousness by means of our simple fidelity in saying it. We must not be self-consciously asking ourselves, how far have I got? Am I saying the mantra, or sounding it, or listening to it? If we try to force the pace, or to keep a constant self-conscious eye on our progress, we are, if there is such a word, non-meditating, because we are concentrating on ourselves, putting ourselves first, thinking about ourselves. Meditation requires complete simplicity. We are led to that complete simplicity, but we begin and continue by saying the mantra. Saying the Mantra, Part 2. I want to stress for you the importance of continuing to say the mantra. Because when we start to meditate, we can often come quite quickly into realms of peacefulness and into a sense of pleasant well-being, even euphoria, when saying the mantra can be made to appear a distraction. We don't want to lose this pleasant plateau, and so we try to stay where we are, to strike camp, and make no further progress up the mountainside. We stop saying the mantra. And many people are led into long, unnecessarily long and uncreative periods when they make no progress for this very reason, that they barter the potential of an expanding consciousness and a deepening awareness of the spirit for a kind of floating piety, a kind of religious anesthesia. The great 4th century master of prayer, our master, John Cassian, had already noted this danger in alluding to what he called the pax perniciosa, the pernicious peace. His graphic phrase points out something that needs to be remembered if we ever think that we can just say, so far and no further, this will do. Perniciosa means what it says, destructive, fatal. And I am myself convinced that many people do not make the progress they should in prayer, do not become as free as they are called to be in prayer, simply because they opt for this destructive lethargy and give up too soon in their toilsome pilgrimage up the mountainside. The constant saying of the mantra. When we begin to meditate, we must say the mantra for the whole 20 or 30 minutes of our meditation. Whatever mood we are in, whatever reaction we seem to be having. As we progress in fidelity, in saying it, we must then sound it for the whole time of our meditation, whatever the distractions or feelings that may arise. And then, as the mantra becomes rooted in our heart, we must listen to it with our whole attention, without ceasing. I repeat this to impress upon you what is the essential and perhaps the only advice worth giving about meditation, which is simply this. I'll repeat it again. Say your mantra. This is not an easy doctrine to accept, nor is it easy to follow. We all hope when we first begin to meditate for some instant mystical experience, and we tend to overestimate the first unusual experiences that the process of meditation brings to us. But this is not important. The important thing is to persevere with the mantra, to stabilize ourselves by our discipline, which makes us ready for the higher slopes of the mountain. Don't be over-concerned with your motives to begin with. It is not we, but the Lord who takes the initiative. As John Cassian puts it, He Himself has struck the small spark of goodwill out of the hard flints of our hearts. So now, begin your meditation in simplicity of heart, and be faithful to your humble task of saying the mantra without ceasing.